Yeah, so when I was in year 10 and we did a little bit of film analysis, film had not really, definitely not at the high school level, become the thing that it is today where people learn media. It was almost like, it was actually just straight up my English teacher in an English class. And to be honest, I think he probably was just told, you need to teach some film. And I think he quickly harangued together whatever course notes he could and things. He's like, all right, well, let's start by breaking down some shots. It's almost like we're all going through it together, I think. Because I know nowadays that like there was no media lab or media class. We weren't allowed to pick up a camera in high school. I think we were probably last of that generation that like film isn't real study, you know, the Canterbury Tales. Now that's real art. And so for me, you know, film at school had been little more than a fun thing you got to do on the last day of the year when the teacher couldn't be bothered teaching anything else. But they were starting to bring it in. And so it was the English teachers that were like, and I think rather than it being a separate discipline, it was English teachers adopting very quickly. I remember it's like in year 10, we did Mississippi Burning, and in year 11, we did Blade Runner. And like, you know, they were sort of putting together these courses. And maybe they had an insight that was a bit newer and fresher, and almost the fact that they wouldn't have known a lot of it themselves. They were just taking it on. I think I remember asking one of my English teachers years later, and he was like, oh yeah, we were kind of making it up all a bit as we were going along. So I think that just maybe offered something unique and maybe left a little bit of the study up to me as well, which meant that I would start seeking out a lot of these films. And so eventually how I sort of got the job at a video store was I think they said, well, you know half the films already, you might as well just work
I always like telling this story. Matt had to pass a written test to work at that video store. So
very elitist, yeah.
How many questions was it?
About 25 questions.
And how many did you get wrong?
One. It was what do the films The Lavender Hill Mob, The Man in the White Suit, and Kind Hearts and Coronets have in common? And I said that they all had Peter Sellers. Of course, that's not quite correct.
Was it 2 out of 3 do, I think?
One or 2 out of 3 does. So they were all Ealing Studios comedies. So that was the one I got wrong, and haunts me to this day.
Well, at least 2 of them have Alec Guinness in it, right?
I know. I think I was confusing the 2, and then I knew Peter Sellers was in one of them, and I was almost there. Almost. Always room to learn.